What's going on, guys? Tyson Anderson, Mr. Hammer Down. Listen, guys, day 3 of the 2024 Offseason Bootcamp. Woo! That's right, we out here with old Anderson's Black Bart. Getting tuned up, getting them polished up. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Burn him. Yes, sir. Y'all stay tuned. Time right now is 7:03 a.m. So I don't make it easy on these dogs, right? Came out here, as you can see, it's raining. It's gonna rain, and it's only lightly raining. It's not like pouring down, it's just drizzling, you know? It's not overly doing anything, but this right here is making that rabbit sit tight, right? So Pete's really gotta hunt. I mean, we've been out here an hour, and he bumped on a rabbit, but he hadn't jumped one. And he's hitting the stuff, right? But it's decently cool. That rain has, of course, dropped that temp just a little bit, but it might be about 5 mile per hour wind. I think 6 miles per hour wind for the high today. But I can appreciate it. Humidity is high right now. I can appreciate that because it's going to teach him a lot of stuff. It's going to teach him patience, endurance, and learning how and knowing how to jump a rabbit, when to jump a rabbit, where to jump a rabbit, during what time of the day, what weather or whatnot could be or may have been handed to him, you know. And so today it's rain. You know, it's cool, it's raining, and we're out here. And we're still gonna put 5-6 hours out here, you know, even if it takes us 3 hours to jump a rabbit. That's the thing that we have to understand, guys. That is the thing that we have to understand. You got to stay out here until the dog begins to come together. And I'm a firm believer in that. I don't back down just because it's hard times, it's hard running, or any of that, you know. I don't care. We out here. We're going to run. First rabbit of the morning, guys. Finally. Like I said, I switched up over here. Just so we can put the miles in, guys. Over there, I believe those rabbits have held up. And, man, we've hunted for over an hour. It's my little... when I sit down, I'm tired or whatever, and build my little fire so I can do what I do. Yeah, we switched up over here to put the miles on them. I don't want to spend 5 hours hunting for a rabbit and never jump one. I believe a lot of those rabbits have held up. And so I came over here. He really wants to drive them. Like I said, he's feeling really good. I'm loving it. This right here sort of messes up my conditioning routine, but this is not the order I was going to do it in. I didn't want to come back over here at the time. I wanted to stay in the briars. I didn't want to get them too loose or rough. But at the same time, you gotta run. Dogs are made with tracks underneath them. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Run time versus ground time. People measure their dogs and say, oh, we were on the ground for 7 hours. But how long were you running? It's not running time until the dog is actually in motion pursuing a rabbit. Okay? So even though we've been out here for 2 hours going on, Pete hadn't been running for 20 minutes. So the ground time is almost 2 hours, but the run time is 20 minutes. Okay? That's the difference. So when you're out here, guys, you got to make sure that you calculate all of that and you say it accurately. I was on the ground for 6 or 7 hours. Yeah, you was on the ground, but you weren't running that whole time. Conditions aren't the best, but it's still raining right now, so that fresh rain, I think it's starting off a little bit, but we'll take it. We gotta take what we can take. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, we want to put a mouth on the dog. Not the best of a run, but we're running. See, Pete's so wired up right now. This being the first rabbit, he was so frustrated over there in Briar country. He's ready to absolutely drive this rabbit over here to make him pay for all the time he's had to hunt like that in the briars. But he has to use that brain and really gear this rabbit down, even though it's the first rabbit, and put it together. Because right now that rabbit's doing some stuff. Old cottontail. tell you that rabbit had already crossed. That condition still ain't all that good. He's running a little tight. Over there in the big woods. Let's get to him. I put my phone down for a second. He's already pretty much crossed back over on this field. Rabbit trying to put his stuff down. Run a very similar route that he came in on. He's got to gear it down and run him. If those coyotes weren't over there in Briar country, that nighttime over there in those briars would be the best thing for this dog. But we haven't eliminated the coyotes, so I'm not going to throw them to the wolves like that. That would be so idiotic. Find him! I'm telling what that rabbit did. If we would have got or received this rain a night or two ago, and then it would have dropped down to maybe 50 and stayed around there, or 30s and then stayed around highs of 50. No real wind coming in, because it seems like every time we get a little bit of precipitation, any kind of moisture or increase in moisture, seems like the next day or so, a heavy or strong wind comes in and just sucks it right up. Find him! So conditions have not been good here. But I'm guessing with it being wet like this, it is a better or more intense touch and go versus it being a dry terrain. The touch and go there is completely different. So that I'm pretty sure there are some spurts in there where he can, bump and, but a lot of the times he's really having to gear down, and he hasn't grabbed onto that concept just yet, again, because he is feeling so good. And he is so conditioned. He's not a high maintenance dog. He really isn't. But he's feeling so good right now, guys. Like I said, I make no excuses, but the dog's feeling so good right now. You really have to know what you're looking at. You have to know how to handle a dog that has that kind of punch and intensity. When you're bringing on a dog, or you're shaping material in the form that you want it to be, shaped in, again, I just keep going back to this. You have to know the material. It's so imperative that you know the material that you're dealing with. That's why it is important to have papers on dogs so that you know the bloodlines and you study that to see exactly what certain things work for certain dogs in that certain lineage at what certain times with what certain beaglers and handlers and houndsmen at the time. And then see if that works in the modern day. See if, why does this dog have an extra bark? Why does this dog overstep it? Why does this dog, run so tight mouth? Why does this dog X, Y, and Z? If you go back, I can guarantee you somewhere in that lineage, that dog is representing, whether modern or whatever you would call it, it would be a representation of something behind it. Because one thing about the genes, it doesn't matter what you do to put in there to offset whatever you do or do not like. Let's say mainly do not like. You can't get it out of the gene pool. People tell you and they say, oh, well, you can push it out. That's a lie. You can only suppress it. You can make it quiet enough to the point where it seems like it's not there. And then at some time or another, it'll show its ugly head 10, 20, 30 years down the road if you are not careful. And sometimes even if you are careful, because breeding is still a lottery pick. Stay tuned. Getting a little tougher on that rain's coming in like that. Up there is the other side of a different broom straw field. Just having to gear it down, that water's coming in. This right here will be the last rabbit of the day. Some tough running, man. Once that rain start coming in, then we're gonna run tomorrow. He's gonna be off for 3 days. I'm only down to running him 4 days a week now. Resting him 3. Tough running, man. I tell you, we'll take it. Rabbit got past me. It's just been touch and go though. It's been like this all morning for the most part. We have a couple little spurts in there where he can really get up on them, but for the most part, it's touch and go. That fresh rain coming in here with that high humidity, man. Yeah, touch and go. We'll take it though. We're out here. Like I said, this will probably be the last rabbit of the day. I try to shoot for at least, 5 to 6 hours on the ground. As many of those hours, as much of the time actually running, but you can't make the race. be a race. So just got to get on the ground. Time is everything, man. You gotta put that time in. You gotta make that sacrifice. You gotta prioritize your time when it comes to developing dogs. If you don't do that, you ain't got nothing. You can take a Michael Jordan and practice like Allen Iverson, and you ain't gonna have nothing. Allen Iverson didn't believe in practicing. He said, practice. He felt that he was so naturally talented, and most of the time it did work for him. But listen, guys, some people can do that. Other people have to maintain that superiority. Some people have to maintain that super extraordinary ability and knack. Everybody doesn't have the testimony that you can just go out here and practice once a week for 10 minutes in a pen and Dogs Dynamite go back and win the AKC Nationals. Doesn't work like that. Brains, guys, brains. Starting to gear it down. Trying to figure out where he did. Touch and go. One good thing about the rain, though, you can walk up, you sneak up on the rabbit a lot better. He's gonna try to cut into these woods, so he might stay in that field and go. You never know. That's the thing about here. These rabbits are very educated, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get away. Rightfully so. There he is. Rabbit just went down to there. Came through here. It went right up underneath that little thing there. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what Pete does. See, he doesn't always run under full power and fast. He knows how to step with that rabbit if he needs to. Right now, I think he's running just a strong medium speed. That's brains. It's not until the dog stops making forward progression do you say, hey, go, hey, go. Or if it's just one of those times where you know the dog's sitting so bad that it just ain't gonna be there. So you call him to close in the gap between him and the game. Him and his game. That rabbit's got some distance on him now, but he wasn't running wide open. He was just hopping along. I don't know where he came out right here. I didn't see that part. When I did see him, he was coming through here. He went right through that little dark area. That's what he did. Keep it tight. Go right back to where he went, where he came from. Remember, it's the same log I threw my leg over. There's holes down in there. That's all through here. You see the difference between yesterday when he overshot that rabbit, being the first race, and now after having hunted for almost 5 hours, about 4.5 hours, he finally slows it down. He starts making the turns. You pick and choose what you want that dog to gain the knowledge of. You pick and choose how you train that dog. If you know he's needing to be loosened up and put on edge, roughened up a little bit, put him in an open place where he can run wide open. Loosen him up. Put a couple hard-hitting dogs down with him. Pull them. If you want to tighten them up, put them in heavy, thick stuff. If you want to clean them up, put them in thick stuff at night. There's all kind of ways to do it. The thing is, We just have to prioritize our time in order to maximize the talent. Doing the same route again. Same route. Most people think because you got rain on the ground or moisture on the ground, it means good running. That couldn't be further from the truth. Fresh rain, man, is hard on dogs. Sorry, guys, I had the phone zoomed in the whole time. Now, this broom straw field over here is where we was just at. Well, guys, that's going to conclude today. The time right now is 12:35. We've been out here for 5.5 hours. Well, I thought he dropped them. Check had been about 6 minutes. Pete's got stay power though, man. He just doesn't give up.
And you sleep out every night, where the boxcars all are empty, and the sun shines every day, on the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees, the lemonade springs where the bluebird sings in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, all the cops have wooden legs, and the bulldogs all have rubber teeth, and the hens lay soft-boiled eggs.
Well, I guess I'm gonna let him run him till he cuts off. We'll see ya next time.